Hi, welcome to Living in the Light, and I'm Mary Amy, and I'm coming to you live from New York. And I'm all about shifting away darkness, guiding you to your truest potential, and cracking open that beautiful glowing light in your heart. Welcome to the fifth dimension. Hi, have you reached a higher consciousness? Have you become more aware? Have you expanded your abilities and your clear senses? Well, together we can work on that and practice. Well, it's Thursday, it's June 22nd, and I thought it's time to do another live. So here I am. Anyone who's joining us, I hope you like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'm really here about bringing forward topics that I think are relevant and giving suggestions, healing suggestions to help you find your truest self, to tap into your potential. So tonight we're going to cover topics like Babylon, impressions, and psychic phenomenon, telepathic messages. And I want to start with reminding you to keep track of your dreams, to write them down, to keep a record. Maybe you have a dream journal, an official dream journal that you buy at a store, or maybe you just got a composition book and you tally up every single time you have a dream. Because, when we wake up, the first thing we remember because it just happened. And maybe it's very vivid for you and you say, oh, I'll remember later, but you don't. So write it down, write down a little description and keep track of the date and even the time and how you were feeling. What kind of emotions did you have? Were they negative emotions? Was it an upsetting dream? Because you might think that a nightmare is meant to scare you, or nightmare is traumatic, but a nightmare, if you stay in the nightmare and you don't wake up, there might be an answer there for you that will help you in your waking life. Because when we're sleeping, we're actually processing and we are delving into parts of us that we don't feel comfortable with while we're awake. So I suggest that you stay in your dream, even if it's scary. And you might want to even do some dream work, which is you pose yourself a question before you go to sleep. And you might problem solve. Now, also keep track of any data you are given while you're sleeping, and that might come in the form of a number, some kind of, it might be an animal, it might be a location, it might be some kind of dialogue someone in your dream tells you. Whatever it is, keep track of it. Oh, who is that? Hi, Trident. I made it to one because I coincidentally called off work. Yes, dreams are super important. And the other night I spoke about lucid dreams. Maybe you have been activated and your light codes are activated, your DNA blueprint is activated, and you have begun this ascension process, which is a whole series of symptoms. And one of them is receiving these lucid dreams. Maybe it's something telepathic from another location. You have a knowing. We're going to get into some psychic phenomenon. Oh, I hear Elsa back here. So anyone can you see her? She's kind of behind me. Where is she? Elsa, where are you? See her there? There she is. She's taking a little nap. She loves to be here. I don't know. She wants to be where the action is. That's who Elsa is. She loves to be where the action is. And so your dreams are super duper important, as well as because they're just your dreams. It's all for you. It's kind of like an exploration, a little bit of an adventure when you go to sleep. What's going to happen? What am I going to learn about? Where am I going to go? And it might kind of push you into a direction that you weren't ready for. You were hesitant, you're a little fearful, but your dream might say, do this, do this. Sometimes I wake up at 3:00 in the morning when there's something that's really rattling around in my mind and I haven't dealt with it and I've kind of pushed it to the side. and it'll wake me up and I'll say, oh, here we go. And I have to write down all the information and I have to figure something out for the very next day. Also, your intention. We've spoken about our intention. You know, last weekend, I mentioned that I met this nurse that I had actually known from 2018. And when I met her in 2018, she was studying to be a nurse, and now she's a cardiac nurse now in New Hampshire. And she was at this Native American pipe smoking ceremony. And they also have, what is that called? One, I can't remember. It's something else that's Native American, a sweat lodge they have there. And it's right on the water, this really cool foundation. And she said to me that your intention is so important, and to work on what's going on within you, because when you resuscitate someone who's possibly going to pass on, and you try to bring them back to life, your intention in your hands. And what was interesting, there was only like 6 of us in this group. 2 others were nurses. So it's very important, our intention. We can change outcomes through our thoughts because it's a charged impulse. Our thoughts carry feelings and emotions, and that's how you can send a telepathic message. And we're going to speak about that tonight. So it's our dreams, our intention, and our thoughts are very powerful. And remember that you can create the most beautiful world for yourself out in this physical reality. Now, we can't change anything out here. We can, in this moment, we can create something outside of ourselves through our thoughts, through visualizations. And we've done visualizations where we close our eyes and we create something, and we're going to do that tonight. And I guess I'm just giving you some suggestions or tips for you to find your personal serenity, for you to realize how advanced you are, how truly unbelievable you are. You're a beautiful being of light. Doesn't matter where you live, what you do as an occupation, what you have, or what you look like. You're right here in this moment, a wonderful being of light. All right, so Babylon. Anyone who's joining us, I hope you like the video and subscribe to the channel. You know, I realize that the world is kind of turning on its head, and we know that we've been encountering a spiritual war. It's like good versus evil. Now, we all have within us this duality of light and darkness. And I thought it's time for me to kind of look into Babylon. And what was Babylon? And I didn't even really know that much. I heard about it over and over again. Babylon, Babylon. And I said, I really got to figure this out. What is Babylon? So here's an artist's view of it, an impression of the Hanging Gardens of Babylon. So ancient writers cited it as one of the 7 wonders of the world. And I'm just going to give a little description about Babylon, and I'm going to mention the Tower of Babel. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is Babylon was known as this wicked city. And we can see out in the physical reality that there might be considered some soulless beings. Maybe they don't have much of a conscience. They are doing something in the physical reality that I would relate to maybe satanic or darkness or evil, maybe Luciferian. And that might be in conjunction with rituals, satanic rituals. And they might be trying to bring in all of those who haven't come in their life to a place of having faith. Now, I have some kind of faith. I believe, like I say, light on the horizon, which is a sunrise. A difficult situation will improve beyond our view. I have faith. And I have faith that things are going to improve. You know, here's like a view. Oh, I dropped something. Here's a view, isn't it? And so this is light on the horizon. There's light on the horizon, which means that you believe that there's something else better out there. Now, is it just going to be like this spontaneously? Everything's going to shift for you. If you're in a place of low vibration, you might have been feeling down, alone. You've kind of surrendered to and felt defeated to darkness and said, oh, my life is just awful. And I don't know what I'm going to do here. And I can't bear it anymore. And poor me, poor me. I'm going to tell you right now that no one out here in the physical reality except a mother loving a child is really going to care. Why? Because it's a really heck of a long journey. Each of us have been through trauma and suffering and difficulties. And you might rationale and say, oh, well, they have it so much easier than me. But I have to tell you that most everyone encounters some kind of tragedy on their journey. That's just the way it is. And so you must, on your own, pull up all of your power. And it might be really deeply down inside of you. And you say, Mary, I don't have any. Poor me. Someone's got to save me. No one's going to save you. You must save yourself. You have it within you. Now, you might have felt crushed. You might have felt powerless. You might have been kicked around your whole life. And you said, I just give up now. Don't give up. Find your power. And how are you going to find that power? Well, maybe you're going to find that power in a spiritual awakening. Like I say, going to a sunrise. Light on the horizon. Maybe you're going to find it through meditation. You're going to say, oh, I'm going to just give into some meditation. I'm going to close my eyes. I'm going to work on my breath and I'm going to focus on my breathing, not my thoughts, because a lot of our thoughts are programming. A lot of our thoughts of what we've been told through our eyes in the physical reality. And that's all there is. I'm going to tell you right now. It's a trick because what we see is very minimal. We're only seeing 1% of what's going on. We're not acknowledging all the frequencies and the energy and the vibration. That's something you find by tuning into your senses. And you can't listen to the masses because who are they listening to? They're listening to some leader that's guiding them, get in line and follow us. Or maybe they're listening to the news, which is paid programming. So you must on your own find your personal power deep within you. And maybe you close your eyes. And like we've done in the past, I say, travel down. Maybe we're going to do it right now together. We're going to do it right now together. Let's find our personal power together. So I'm going to ask you to relax. You're going to take away any tension within you, aren't you? You're going to relax your legs and your arms, and you're going to find a way to relax, which is going to be through some steps like imagining you're jelly, you're a rag doll. And you're letting out a breath because the day has been long. And maybe you've been pushed down by someone and they've kind of given you no incentive to find your personal power. So we're going to do it right here together. All right, so you're going to breathe in and you're going to breathe out. And you're going to push away any doubt. Because when you have doubt, you can't achieve anything, can you? We have to come from a place of positivity. We have to come from a place of I can do it. So we're pushing away any thoughts and we're having self-confidence. And we're going to do some breathing. We're going to inhale and we're going to hold it. And we're going to release it. And this is how we're going to focus on our breath and relax our body because we want to come from a place of stillness. The more relaxation we have, the more chance we're going to find our essence, our inner life, because we're holding space inside of ourselves, aren't we? And we're going to dig deep. We're going to inhale again and hold it. Maybe we do a 9 count. release it. And one more time. All right, so now we've pushed away any doubt, any thoughts, and we're dropping down into our physical being. We're not focused on our thoughts. And we're going to tune into our senses. We're going to tune into our senses. And now what I'd like you to do, you're listening. Maybe you're activating your third eye. You're feeling. How are you feeling right now? So that's an emotion. It's not like you say, I'm feeling tired. It's going to be an emotion. You're feeling some kind of serenity, happiness, sadness, anger, whatever it is you feel. You want to acknowledge that. You want to accept that. You don't want to push it away. And so now I'm going to ask you to do a deep dive. And I would like you to travel deep within you. So deep down, and maybe you consider it your essence, your spirit, your soul, whatever you consider it to be. And you're going to dive down deep within you. And we're looking for the bottom. As far as you can imagine yourself going down into yourself. Until you reach the very, very bottom. And maybe you can't reach the bottom. Maybe you say, oh, I don't even know where it is. You're just going to keep going until you kind of get an idea that you're at the bottom. Where you sense it. You kind of can feel the boundaries of within you. And you're going to look for the light. Because there's a light within you. You just have to find it. And so this is going to be a glowing light. It's a yellowish white light. And you can feel that it's beaming outwards. And so you're going to imagine this light down within you. And it's beaming up. And it's shooting up through you. And it's strong. It's confident. It's supportive. It's kind. It's giving you this strength. And it's filling you all the way from the bottom. And it's filling all of you up. Whatever that means to you, it's going to mean something different to each one of us. You might see something differently than I do. And whatever you see, whatever you sense is right for you. There's no perfect answer for this. And so the light is coming up within you. And you're asking this light to be strong, to be fulfilling, to be hopeful, and to expand within you. Now, maybe it's expanding within your physical being. Maybe it's expanding in your mind, in your heart. It's expanding in all your organs, your cells, your flesh, your bones. You ask it and you invite it. And I'm asking you, and I'm making this suggestion to bring the light within you, because the light is very powerful. The light will help guide you. Now, maybe the light, you consider it connected to divine energies. Maybe the light is connected to Mother Earth. Maybe it's connected to God Source. It's whatever you want it to be. But it's very powerful and positive. And so it's filling up all of you. And now the light is expanding past your physical vessel. And it's expanding into your human energy field, which is beyond your physical body. And it's expanding all the way up to the cosmos, through all of your outside body chakras, and past your feet into the earth, which is your earth chakra. And it's passing through your root chakra, your sacral chakra, your solar plex chakra, your heart chakra, your throat chakra, your third eye chakra, and your crown chakra. And this light is going to expand. It's going to take you. It's a portal. This light is going to be a portal. It's going to take you to another dimension. It's going to help manifest everything that you want here in the physical reality. And you're going to ask this light to stay around as long as possible. And maybe from time to time, you're going to remind yourself. So when we get off this video, maybe later before you go to sleep, or just in a moment, you're going to say, where's that light? You're going to bring it right back to you because you have that ability. As soon as you open up all of your clear senses, without even asking, it will stick around. It'll stay within you because you've activated something within you. So you're going to remind yourself from time to time. And maybe in those moments where you feel like, oh, I'm having a really rough patch, you're going to say, where's that light? And you're going to do it on your own, and you're going to reach and you're going to bring it all the way up. And you know, this light is going to help you pass this moment. It might help you when you are out in the physical reality and you're around some kind of energy. It might just be a location that's dark. It might be somebody that you engage with. And you're going to remind yourself of this light because it's going to help you to kind of be protective. You know, I've also mentioned if you're out in the physical reality and something feels like it's bothering you and you feel like maybe pinched and you can't quite place it, and you say, maybe it's a headache. Maybe it's something in your heart. Maybe it's just something that's bothering you. Put your arm over your heart to protect yourself. Okay? All right, so Babylon. Anyone who's joining us, hey, Trident, I love the meditation. Good, good, good. Oh, there, I mentioned it, and then the pain. So you can ask if you got a pain in your head to leave. So Babylon. So Babylon was known as this wicked ancient city of Mesopotamia, which there are ruins in Iraq, 50 miles southwest of Baghdad. So it was known as, and it's a representation of the enemy of God. It was the wicked city. It represents persecuting powers of the world of God's children. So it was known as, I'm going to tell you, the gateway of God, a great cultural and religious center associated with the Tower of Babel, and I'm going to mention that. And it's one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. Now, I'm bringing this up because anyone who's joining us, I hope you like the video. I do the arm over the heart thing. Good, good. Do that, Trident. And because I sense that we're kind of headed into a place right now where we're turning over the table, like I said the other day. We're turning over the table. We're turning it over because we've been living in this place that is kind of wickedness, or it is considered wickedness. There's been evil that has been running rampant. And we're realizing some of these whistleblowers are coming forward. There's also some documentaries and movies coming out about human trafficking, and we're realizing what's been going on in these DUMBs, in these deep underground tunnels. And I think we've been naive, and we've just been kind of running on that hamster wheel to try to survive. So I'm reminding us that there has been in the past a place called Babylon. And so it was founded prior to the reign of Sargon, and you know I butcher words, Akkad, and it was the Great. It was known as the Great, and it was 2334 to 2279 BCE. And at its height, which was 7th to 6th centuries BCE, was known as the largest and wealthiest ancient city of the world. And it looks like it was a beautiful place, doesn't it? Look at the ornate buildings and the columns. And it was the largest and wealthiest ancient city of the world, Babylon. Now, there was the ambitious king. Again, I'm not going to say his name right. Nebuchadnezzar II. There was towering temples and ornate palaces, imposing walls. So the Hanging Gardens of Babylon inspired the Tower of Babel. The ancient city fell to the Persians. So Babelu means gate of the gods. The Babylonian kings in the ancient world named their city the gates of gods because they believed it to be a place where the gods communicated with the people in order to direct their lives on earth. So the well-known gates in ancient Babylon, the Ishtar Gate and the 8th gate in the inner city, in Greek, Babylon, used in the book of Revelation, was known as confused, refers to the evil and persecuting system that will be eventually destroyed by God for its wickedness in Revelation 18. It is the symbolic of the evil state of affairs. Now, are we undergoing that right now, this evil state of affairs? Well, there's a lot of disclosure being revealed about what's been going on behind closed doors. This secret government, the shadow government, and I've spoken about the dark forces, the deep state, and it goes across the globe because we're realizing for decades, and probably even more than that, there's been, I guess, the direction of our population, our planet, by evil, by those that have wealth. You know, we've had this hierarchy and we've believed, oh my gosh, they have wealth. They're the kings and the queens, or the leaders, or those out there that have all of this money. And we're just the average Joes, and we're going to work for them and service them. And we can do whatever. We can sweep the floors for them, whatever it is, to make sure that they have everything they need because they're so wealthy. They have everything, beautiful homes, the fancy schmancy stuff, and we are forever taking care of them, maybe cooking for them or doing their laundry, whatever it is. And that's kind of been how we've been living. And there are those few that are on the very upper echelons of the world, and they have first class all the way. And why is that? Because we've been living under this hierarchy that we're not equal. Meanwhile, you and I are equal to them. They're no better than us. But we've been living in this world that those who have the wealth carry all of the dominance and power. And so it's starting to get flipped now, isn't it? Because we're getting a little sick of that. So we're realizing, and maybe Babylon's a good example, that the wicked, those that consider materialism the most important, not the DNA of you and I and every other human being, is the gold. The DNA is the gold. So it is the symbolic of the evil state of affairs, Babylon, just prior to the second coming of Jesus Christ, defined as the sinful state against God, rebellion. That's what Babylon. So the Tower of Babel. Let me share with you the Tower of Babel. Here's a picture because there's a lot of artistry. I found some paintings. And so here's this Tower of Babel. And what was this? The Tower of Babel was founded by Nimrod. And at the time, the whole earth had one language. This is Genesis 11:1. The very beginning with this city, this disbelief in this true God and the defiance of his will in Babylon, the people said, come, let us build ourselves a city and a tower whose top of it is in the heavens. And let us make a name for ourselves, lest we be scattered abroad over the face of the whole earth. And so they started to build this tower. And it looks pretty beautiful, doesn't it? But then what happened to this tower? Does anyone know the story of what happened? Well, the Lord interrupted the building of the Tower of Babel and scattered its builders all across the globe. And guess what? Everyone spoke a different language, so they could no longer communicate. He said, let us go down there, confuse their language so that no one understands each other's speech. And the Lord scattered them, basically a punishment to their wickedness and their wanting to basically, we're not going to listen to a higher power, which is kind of, I guess you could say, divine energies, God's source, nature. And the Lord scattered them across the earth, and they ceased building the city, and without understanding each other's speech, confused and forced them to separate. So the founders of Babylon had planned to have a government without God. And I sense that's what's going on right now, because there are those out there that say, I don't really care about others. I don't care if they're harmed. I don't care if I'm committing evil against other beings. And maybe that's coming in the form of crimes against humanity. So they sense, you know what? I can do whatever I want. It doesn't matter. It's not gonna hurt me if I hurt others. But guess what? There's what's called karma, and there's what's called the laws of the universe. And that's working against them. And you cannot harm others without there being some kind of, I guess, a slingshot back at you, a boomerang. And that's what happened in Babylon. So the founders of Babylon had planned to have a government without God. The prophet Hosea identified Lucifer as the invisible king of Babel. So Satan designed to make the city his to secure control of the humans. And since then, Satan has tried through the world power to seize control of the world empires. And so over and over, and I think that's what's going on right now. Hey, music. I think that's what's going on right now. I believe that there's evil. Now, I've encountered some of this myself. I am empathic and I sense a lot. And maybe you are too as well, which means that you sense others' energies. Now, whether or not it's related to another human being or it's the energy of the earth, the energy of what's going on out here in the physical reality, maybe you sense the energies and the frequencies of the sun, of nature, of trees and the earth and the elements. Maybe a sunrise affects you. If you tune inward and you realize all of your senses, and we're going to get into some psychic phenomenon, and we're going to give some suggestions about being a receiver. You are a transmitter. We've said that. You can send off energies and thoughts to others and to across the globe. And you can also receive them. Whatever your frequency is, you're going to send out your frequency to someone else and engage with someone else. It doesn't necessarily even mean someone within speaking distance. It might be hundreds of miles away or 1,000 miles away. But you can also receive information or frequencies from someone who's not even close by. And we're going to get into impressions. So the fall of this wicked city marks the beginning of evil. And there was an angel that said, Babylon is fallen, the great city, because she made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, which means the evil. So we have to take note on this. We have to realize that for me to be bringing this up, it's basically a sign. Evil is falling, just like the Tower of Babel. Evil is falling. You might say, well, I don't see anything about that in the news right now. It's not going to be in the mainstream media because they are part of the evil. They're part of the deep state. It's all paid programming. Now, if you look at some alternate news, if you look at some of these truth seekers and rebels that are on Rumble, Telegraph, you'll see it. And I want to let you know that I was very lucky yesterday. Someone reached out to me. I had done this interview with Joan Cara. If you look at my last interview, it was with Joan Cara. And Joan Cara is a psychic medium. And she said, Mary, she sent me a text, is it okay if I let someone post some of our interviews that we had together on my channel? And I said, sure. And then the person that was posting her videos reached out to me, and he has his own, I guess you could say, network on this Strim.tv. If you look up Strim, STRIMM.tv, and he said, would you like a channel? And I said, yes. So now I have my own channel on Strim TV. He's also looking into having a channel with all of these other intuitives and psychics and other podcasters on Roku. And I'm excited about that. So you can find me on Strim TV. So there you go. Something positive happened to me yesterday, and I know that's been a direction I'm hoping to go into, because sometimes we are censored here on YouTube, and I'm a little adamant about sharing some information because I don't want to lose a video or them to take it down. It's happened in the past. All right, so let's get into some psychic phenomena. We're going to start with talking about impressions and then telepathic messages. And I've mentioned to you about impressions. Now, what are we doing right now here in this physical reality? Because here we are together. Let's remind ourselves to be here in this moment. How are we creating our destiny? How are we creating it? Well, we're developing our telepathic side of ourselves. We're developing our clairsenses. And we're learning about this inner world that we have. And the inner world is not like something we sense out here. It's something that kind of jolts us. It's a flash of information. It's a knowing that you have. And when you receive an impression, it doesn't feel like anything else that you've encountered in the physical reality, because it's within you. It comes through a flash of information. So it's spontaneous. Maybe it's a flash or a vision. And to me, I really want to say that it's kind of joined with some kind of light. Because how am I going to describe this? When we tune into this part of ourselves, maybe we do it through meditation. I'm going to share with how to activate your third eye today or tonight. It's kind of nighttime already. It's 7 o'clock here in New York. It's definitely joining with a side of you that you haven't maybe encountered before. We all have the ability to have clairsenses, which is clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsustenance, claircognizance, clairaudience, clairvoyance, clairsustenance, claircognizance, and clairgustinance. And we have this ability, and I want to put it under the realm of light, because it's basically a spontaneous flash. So an impression that you're going to receive might come in the form of an effect, a feeling, an image. It's a mark. It's something physical that you're going to sense. Now, it doesn't mean that your eyes are closed. It doesn't mean that your eyes are open. It can be something within you. When you activate this within you, this clairvoyance or these clairsenses, it's going to be this flash, and it's so fast that you almost say, what was that? What was that? Because it's within you. And it might be a mental image. It's going to be brief. It's a flash before your eyes, something happening, a snapshot. So we want to acknowledge this. And we want to know that this is going to be a way for us to kind of join with a part of ourselves that we haven't before. Okay, so you're joining with a part of yourself that you haven't before. Now, maybe it's something that's reaching out to you that is from the cosmos. Maybe it's going to be a telepathic message from someone that you know. It's kind of just similar when you have this inclination to speak to someone because you thought of them, or you're having a memory. Now, maybe they are wherever they are, maybe across the country, maybe your neighbor, maybe it's someone across the room is thinking of you. And so you think to have some kind of communication. So maybe you want to call them on the phone and have a chat. Maybe you want to text them. Maybe you want to email them. Maybe you want to speak to them in the physical reality. These are all transference of information. It's an impression. And it might also come through clairvoyance in your mind's eye, in your dream. You might have a dream. You might receive an impression in a dream. I've had many dreams, personal experience with my father. And my father had passed away. And so he contacts me in the astral realm when I fall asleep from time to time. And he's communicating with me. And that's an impression. It's in the dream state. Maybe you close your eyes and you have a vision. And I'm giving you in the context of a whole bunch of different possibilities, because I want you to know that you probably have already encountered some kind of impression. You might say, well, I'm new to this. This has never happened to me. I've never had an impression. And I want to tell you, most definitely you have. You just didn't identify what it was. Now, the more we talk about this, the more we activate this, the more we have this happen to us. And I've said to you, when you ask for something, you shall receive. And that's why I bring up light. That's why I bring up angels. That's why I bring up some of these topics. I'm shedding light to you. I'm revealing something. And the more that, you might say, oh, stop talking about it. Just get on with it. But then you have to be patient, because what I'm doing right now is trying to activate this within you. And I'm staying on the topic for a long time so that you kind of get comfortable in it. And then you might remember more. There might be something I say that you're ready to hear. Maybe one word, maybe one sentence, maybe all of it, or maybe you're not ready right now and you want to tune back in, come back on in a few minutes. It's entirely up to you. But I know for myself that I learn different ways. I learn sometimes by hearing someone speak about something. Sometimes I have to have a visual. Maybe I'm so distracted that I'm not getting it. But the longer I stay on something, the more a chance that you'll have an activation for you. Okay? And that's why I'm doing this. Okay? So dreams, visions, moving pictures, maybe something twinkling or sparking out of the corner of your eye will happen. These are all going to be impressions. A little bit of light. You might close your eyes before you go to sleep and you see light. You say, oh, what was that? You open your eyes. Then you close your eyes again. You say, oh, what is that? Maybe it's going to be blue light or lavender light or green light, because each of us are going to receive impressions in a different way, and it's going to be right for you, because that's the frequency you're operating. Now, as you're ascending to this higher consciousness, it's going to go through stages, and it's going to stop for a while, and you're going to say, oh, it's over. Oh, I've stopped ascending. No, you haven't. You're just kind of acclimating yourself to another level. Maybe you need to kind of engage with more of your clairsenses, and you have to try a little bit more. Maybe it's time for you to spend more time in nature. Maybe it's time for you to reach more of your goals and you to say, oh, what is it that I want right here in the physical reality? What is my desire? What is my goal? Let me remind myself, I put it to the side because I was dealing with this junk or this bill or whatever. Hey, music, whatever it is. And you say, well, I'm too tired to deal with whatever it is I want. Don't be too tired. Let's remind ourselves what it is, because right here is when we create it. Now, I've been saying I want to host a show on another platform. And yesterday someone came to me and said, oh, I'll create a channel for you. So that's in the right direction. So I activated something. How did I do that? Maybe I did it through my clair senses. Maybe I did it through a thought. I don't know. Maybe I did it through going through some of my past notes, whatever it is. Let's right now create in this moment. How are you going to create in this moment? Remind yourself, where are you? Be in this physical reality right now, in this moment. Here's a pillow. Push away any thoughts. Be right here. And in this moment, I'd like you to remind yourself of what it is you want. The most humongous goal that you can imagine. Maybe you say, I want to travel across the whole entire globe, or I want to climb the highest mountain. I want to have my own business, I want to design something. I want to write a novel. I want my twin flame or my soulmate. I want my best friend, whatever it is right here. And when you devise this, you have to remember that you must discover every single avenue that pertains to that desire or goal, which means, what does it look like? What does it smell like? What does it feel like? What are details? If you want to manifest something, you have to have details. And you have to go into it, into that world that you want. Because when you devise this world that you want, the universe will bring it to you like this. Because you're creating another higher frequency that you have right now. Because if you say that's not something I can have for 20 years, wow, you have to go through a lot to get it, don't you? So we're going to say we're going to have it right now, which means you're raising yourself to another frequency. It's going to take 20 years. That's much higher than what you're living on right now. You can do it. I promise you can. Okay? So you're going to believe in yourself. You're going to have confidence. You're going to have willingness. You're going to say, I can do this. So this impression is going to be a glow, a brief mental picture, an image before it happens. You might have some kind of premonition. So it's going to be guidance, and you're going to trust it. You're going to say, I'm going to trust this impression, this flash. It's your higher self giving you information. Your spirit guides, the angels, it's going to be a future vision. And you're going to follow this because it's going to be a clairvoyant sign for you. An impression that flashes into your system is meant for you. It's a clairvoyant sign. Okay? And if it resonates with you, you're going to grab onto this impression. And you're going to say, huh, what is this? What is this? What do I see? Who's there? What am I supposed to do? You're a psychic, whether you realize it or not. It's a psychic impression. It's a sign for you. All right, maybe it's going to be colored lights. Maybe it's going to be orbs, twinkles. Now, here's some signs that you're ready. Are you drawn to beautiful things? Do you have vivid dreams? Do you have precognitive dreams? So let's activate our third eye right now. Let's do this together. Now, maybe you've already activated. Walk through this with me anyway, because it can hurt, can it? It can't hurt. It can only help you. Everything that I do here, what am I doing? I'm doing it for helping and healing. Everything I'm doing, I'm going to say this and I'm going to get emotional when I say this, is because I'm hoping to help people. I'm hoping to help you figure out what you need and want in this world, in this fifth dimension, because we are creating together a new civilization through our thoughts, through our words, through our actions, a beautiful world that is peace, personal serenity, it's beautiful glowing light, it's collective consciousness, it's hope, it's a place of wonder, it's an adventure. All right, so let's try to activate our third eye. Now, maybe you've already done that, but let's do it together in case. Just in case you say, I've never activated my third eye, let's activate it. Okay? So here's some steps. You can have your eyes open or your eyes closed. It's entirely up to you. What resonates with you? All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to start by touching your third eye. Now your third eye is right here. It's between your two eyebrows. It's right here. You're going to touch your third eye. You want it to stay open and be balanced. That's an incentive, isn't it? Open and stay balanced. Now, when your third eye is open, what's that going to mean? That means you're going to see things in the physical reality and beyond the physical reality, maybe in another realm. Maybe you're going to go to an angelic realm. Maybe you're going to see the past, the present, the future. You're going to know something about someone before you've met them. You're going to have a flash of information, and then you're going to meet them, or you're going to see someone you know. It's going to be synchronistic. You might realize before some kind of danger you're about to encounter, you're going to have a flash of knowledge. You're going to have a knowing. All right, so we're going to start right now by touching our third eye. And we're going to say, please stay open and please be balanced. You want to have a balanced third eye. You want to have an open third eye. And you're going to set an intention. Our intention is very important. You're going to set an intention of opening your third eye. Now you can close your eyes. Maybe that's easier for you to see. So your third eye is your mind's eye. It's another place. It's not your eyes that you're seeing out here in the physical reality. You're tuning into another place. Okay? So you're placing your fingers between your eyebrows. You're setting an intention of opening your third eye. So here we are. And if I'm going to say it out loud, I would say, my intention is to open up my third eye. I'm accepting of this. I'm open to this. I'm wanting this. I would like this. And so you're holding your finger on your third eye, and you're going to imagine it being activated. So you're going to imagine, maybe you can say your third eye is a portal. So maybe you can imagine that it is when they say third eye, what is that? That's an eyeball, right? So we're imagining that we're seeing something beyond the physical reality. So we're activating it by imagining that it's open. And maybe you want to take your finger and you're going to put it in a circular motion. I'm activating my third eye. That is my intention. It's interesting because I always speak about spinning light. So you're activating your third eye. What's interesting is while I'm doing this, it's actually kind of almost like I'm scratching because my third eye is open. So I don't know. It's like a weird sensation for me. So you're putting your fingertip in a circular motion. You're having the intention, I'm opening up my third eye. I'm activating my third eye because I would like to be clairvoyant, wouldn't I? I would like to see in my mind's eye. I would like to see another realm. Now, another strategy might be that you're tapping it and you imagine activating it. okay? So we can visualize it opening. We can have our fingers there and have the intention. We can have our fingertip moving in a circular motion, or we can tap. Those are some choices for you. Now, in your mind's eye, let's place our finger on our third eye. Now you can choose to have your eyes open or closed. And so let's right now imagine that we are seeing in our third eye, in our mind's eye. Now you might want to describe what you see because you've now activated it. You're having confidence, you're shedding any doubt. You said, I've opened up and I've activated my third eye. And what am I seeing? So you want to describe all the details. Colors, imagery, sense with your senses, your moods, your feelings. And so I'm going to tell you right now, what am I seeing? So that you can, now this is my personal experience. I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to even have my finger on my eye because it's already activated. What's the difference, I wonder, if I have my finger here? It's actually more intense when I'm tapping and I'm looking. So I definitely have this visual of an angel right here. It's literally right here. And it's the outline of an angel, and it's a pinkish white. It's very serene. And what's interesting is it has a harp. So it's playing some music. And then I see it's very much a fine arts view of what the angelic realm looks like. And I see just a lot of light and clouds. It's very peaceful. And in the past, when I've gone into my third eye, I can say that I see a lot of pieces of nature, and there's a lot of country. I utilize my third eye when I'm working on the clairsenses and I'm asking questions. Okay, so I don't know if that helped for you. Just, practice on your own. So let's get into, I wanted to mention, I forgot early on to mention some of what's going on in the world right now. I don't know if you've heard about this Titanic submarine. It's called the Titanic sub, the Tishan. And I'm a little bit cautious about whether or not this is a psyop. I'm hearing, is this a psyop, this Titanic sub story, or is this real? And that's just because, as you know, unless I see something with my own eyes, I speculate. And if anyone else has heard about this Titanic sub, the Titan, it's a submersible. It's a submarine that has gone down to see the Titanic. And in the last few days, it took its third trip down. And apparently, it's 2 miles down. And it allegedly, all of those passengers that were on it have passed or missing, you could say. Official claims to have found parts of the vessel near the wreckage of the Titanic. And so who was on board of this sub? You're very convenient to disappear a few naughty people, perhaps. Oh, look, no bodies. I know, exactly. And, they say that, or, it's speculative whether or not the Titanic was sunk on purpose because of the Federal Reserve or the U.S. Treasury. There were individuals that were on the Titanic that were against creating the Federal Reserve. And here we go into this submarine that has exploded and there is debris. So I'm going to just mention on this alleged submarine, there were passengers. For example, a British billionaire explorer. He was the supporter of charities founded by King Charles III. He was a French diver and with his son. His name was Shazka Dawood, and his son, who was his Salman. Now, he was the British billionaire, was 48 years old. He was the vice president of Engro Corp, which is a fertilizer firm. And he was one of the richest Pakistani families, one of the richest Pakistani families. Then there was Stockton Posh or Dosh. He's 61, chief executive of OceanGate, which runs the Titanic voyages and these deep sea. And for $250,000 and up, you can have this close glimpse of the Titanic, of the famous ship. And you would travel 370 miles on a larger ship to the area above the wreckage. It's an 8-hour dive on the Titan, an 8-hour dive. Now, I don't know if I would want to do this. It's not something that I would think that it would be a safe thing to do. What does music say? Sunk by nefarious people. The name of the sub Atlas was the name of the fictional ship like the Titanic that was released before the disaster. Fictional story in book form. Yes, I heard that as well, that there was a book. Okay, and then there was Hanish Harding, who's 58. He was a British adventurer. He ran action activation. He's from Dubai, private jet dealership, held 3 Guinness Book of World Records. And then the last occupant on this submarine was Paul Henry Nargalet, who's 77, former Navy diver, spent more time than anyone else at this Titanic wreckage. So they say there was an explosion. Then now the Titanic is at the depth of 12,500 feet. So I don't know, is this a PSYOP, which is a military operation? It's a government designed psychological operation to influence us and change or persuade us. Now, what would be the point of it? I don't know. I don't know what would be the point. If anyone can make any suggestions. And they say that there was this explosion, everyone's dead, blah, blah, blah. Now, in the last few weeks or months, you could say, within the last 2 months, we've had some signs that there is, I guess, a direction the world is going into. We had the emergency broadcast system that put out a practice alert to see how it went in Florida and in the UK. And they said, oh, it was at 4:45 a.m. And then we have, in the last few days, we see these military tanks and aircrafts that are traveling across the United States, whether it's on some kind of train or it's through the air, through the roads. And what is there? What is that? Are they creating a simulation? They're there to create a simulation. Is it practice? Or are they going to be shipping these military tanks and aircrafts to another country? I'm not quite sure. But here are some signs right now that there's something going on. And I'm going to tell you that what I encourage everyone to do, and I've said this over and over, is to prepare. And that's what I do. For example, if there's something that you would like to do in your life, or if you have an inclination, maybe you have some kind of impression that you've received. Maybe it's in the form of a dream. Maybe it's in your waking life and you receive an impression. And if it's something to alert you, take note. Maybe you need to prepare for something. So what I'm trying to get across to you is that there are always signs before something happens, good, bad, or indifferent. And I receive impressions and it resonates with me. For example, when I just saw it in my third eye, I saw all this light. What is that? That's positive. That means something good is coming. To me, we are in an era, this new era. We're headed into this golden age. Maybe you say, oh, it looks like out there everything bad that's going on. But you have to know before it takes time from it to be shown in the physical reality, what's going on. So everything dark is leaving, and we are headed to a place of light. And how do I know that? Because every single day, we are realizing that more and more are becoming awakened. And they're becoming awakened that there's another possibility. It's not going to be all about being competitive. It's not going to be all about get out of my way. I'm stepping on your face. Don't take it personally. It's just business. It's not going to be a world. We're not going to a world of hurting each other, of suffering, of trauma. Now, regardless of all of these topics that I bring up, which are maybe the reptilians, maybe evil, maybe the deep state, what I'm telling you is good is prevailing. We are going to triumph. No, I don't care if there's 5,001 AIs or draconian reptilians or grays. I'm going to tell you that all evil can be diminished through light. Now, everyone that's awakened across the globe, we are all becoming awakened. Maybe it's through the social media. Maybe it's through Twitter. Maybe it's through you're saying, this is not right because you saw a story. Maybe you're having a mystical experience because you're spending time in nature and you've awakened. Maybe you have a Kundalini awakening. Maybe your third eye you've awakened. Maybe just listening through hearing certain words you're awakening. I'm going to tell you more and more every single day you're awakening. It's true. I'm 1,000,000%. All right, so now let's get into psychic phenomenon because we hit the 1 hour mark and it's time right now. We are developing our clairsenses. We are changing our perception. Now let's practice right now sending a telepathic message. When you receive an impression, when you receive a tone, a sound, a voice from an outside source, it's outside of you. You must have a willingness. You must say, maybe I can't tell anyone I'm doing this. I'm going to practice my psychic phenomenon. I know that I have clear senses that I can tune into. You have to trust. You have to validate yourself. You have to believe in yourself. Practice. Now, there's not going to be a lot of proof. You're going to have to trust yourself. We have extrasensory perception that we are capable of. Now, we know for decades our government has had black projects, secret projects, and programs where they taught their military extrasensory perception, remote viewing. It's all true. You just look it up on a search engine. It's real. And they've been practicing this, and that's how they see in the enemy's world how to reach a target. It's true. So we have this ability We have this ability, and we are going to practice together. Now, you are a receiver and you are a transmitter. You can transmit energy. You can transmit light. You can send a message. So let's practice right now. So I'd like everyone to close their eyes if you choose. I'd like you to relax, relax, which means you're going to relax your body. Maybe, oh, I heard cracks when I did that. So you're going to be like a rag doll. Uncross your legs. I have to uncross my legs. Let out a breath. Push away any thoughts. And now I'd like you to choose someone you'd like to send a telepathic message. So let's choose someone. Okay, I'm going to choose. Now maybe it is someone you know. Maybe it's someone you would like to know. It might be a family member. It might be a friend. It might be anyone. You choose anyone you would like. So what you're going to do is you're going to close your eyes, you're going to relax, and you're going to choose someone. So I'm going to choose someone as well. And then the next step would be is you're going to close your eyes. You're going to imagine this person sitting right in front of you. So you're going to imagine this person sitting right in front of you, which means you have to know what they look like. You're going to have to know something more about them than just their name, because you have to actually visualize them with your eyes closed. So you're imagining this person in front of you. Now, are they sitting? Are they standing? And you're going to imagine what kind of expression they have when they're looking at you. What do their eyes look like? What is their length of their hair? What does their face look like? Because the more that you can imagine, the more possibility that you can send them this telepathic message. So details. So are they sitting? Are they standing? What exactly do they look like? What does their face look like? When you speak to them, what are their expressions like? And when you're in their presence, what does it feel like? So I'm going to be quiet for a second as you engage with all of this information that I just shared with you. And now I would like you to send them a message. Now you can send them a message in the form of an image. You can send them a message in form of a sentence. I'd like you to send them a message. And when you send them the message, I'd like you to imagine, or I'd like you to come up with what exactly would be their response. What would they look like? What would their response be? And try to really engage with what it feels like to be around this person. So whatever you received while you did this activity is right for you. There's no right or wrong answer. Anyone who's joining us, I hope you like the video and subscribe to the channel. So basically what you just did was you transmitted information. You had thought transference. And it's stretching you. If you've done this before, it's just a reminder. It's actually giving you stronger abilities, and it is allowing you to maybe have a different response than you have in the past. The less you judge yourself, the more advanced you become. Okay? All right, so let me remind you of some other I guess you could say clair responses. When we're practicing clairvoyance, clairsustenance, claircognizance, you might begin after you're done with receiving information after. Maybe that day, maybe when you wake up in the morning, something within 24 hours might be like a little bit of an extra. And it might also be telling you that you're on the right path. So what I'm trying to relay to you is when we do some of these activities, you might it's like a vibratory. It might be like a delayed response. So when you're doing the activity, you might say it's not really working, but then within 24 hours, maybe you'll have some kind of dream that will open up. You might receive information past the moment of the activity. What I learned being an intuitive, when I'm reading someone, I receive information. But then when I'm off with them, either in person or a telephone call or a video chat, the information still comes through. So it's not like the door's closed, right? I mean, because it's a portal, isn't it? Your third eye is a portal. Every single clairsense is kind of a portal of information. So you are still receiving information. Now, each of us is going to have a more magnified and vivid response than others. So it might come through. You might say, wow, I really want to be clairvoyant, but I'm more clairsustenant. I have more of a feeling that that's resonating. Just accept that, because what I've learned is eventually, after you've mastered one of these clairsenses, you can master others, because it's like you've opened up all of your senses, all of your abilities. Okay. Now, each of us is encoded with different abilities. And if you are practicing maybe through meditation to reach a higher consciousness, you might begin to kind of connect some of your clair senses, and it might open up more of your awareness. So in other words, what I'm trying to say is they're running parallel. All of it is kind of bringing you to a more deeper sense of yourself and more of an inner life within you. And it's not going to happen overnight. It just takes time. So continue to practice. That's what I'm encouraging everyone to do. And all right, so the more relaxed you are, the more you're going to receive. You will begin to receive pre-cognitive events. You might have a memory from your past come forward that you said, oh my gosh, I have never remembered that this happened to me. But then details of that memory will come through. And I believe that this is very imperative, because it gives us more knowledge about ourselves and we are tapping into our potential. You are building another version of yourself through your clairsenses. Okay, so now let's do another activity, and we want to stretch ourselves. Now, when I began this journey, which was, I guess it was 2012-ish, 2013, when I really started tuning in more and more to my intuition, I would just imagine myself here in the physical reality, and I'd close my eyes and I'd imagine like I was basically a rubber a rubber doll, I guess you could say, and I was stretching all the way to the moon or all the way out into the galaxy. So part of me would be here, and I'd like you to do this right now. I'd like you to close your eyes, and I'd like you to imagine you're seated, or if you're laying down in one spot here in this physical reality, and then you're stretching from your torso up all the way like you're a rubber doll, all the way up to the moon or all the way into the cosmos. And just imagine yourself stretching yourself all the way and even wrapping yourself around another planet. Because when we can stretch ourselves and we can imagine and visualize ourselves stretching, it helps us stretch ourselves when we're hearing or when we're seeing or when we're feeling. So can you stretch yourself? Okay. So just visualize yourself stretching. Okay. Now I'd like, who's that? James. Oh, James. When you look, you also find what you don't seek in depression and neuroscience. People invite parallels. Truth is so important. Yes, always confidence. Truth and confidence. Truth and confidence. All right, so let's close our eyes. And I'm reminding you that there's not proof. You're not going to have proof. So you want to have confidence that you can do this. And I'd like you to close your eyes. And I'd like you to relax your physical body. And now maybe you want to, if you can, be laying down. Now I can't obviously be laying down, so I'm just gonna go through the steps, and I'm just gonna pretend I'm laying down. So we're gonna be relaxed. So we're relaxing all of our arms and our legs. And I'd like you to lift up your arm, drop it down, like take away any kind of control that you have in your legs and arms, in your limbs. So we're just like basically not having any control. And even in our head, right? We're just relax. So I'd like you to relax both of your arms and your legs and your head. And I'd like you to, when you've done that, I'd like you to put all of your energy and thoughts on your torso, from your neck to your thighs. After you've relaxed your arms and your legs, put all of your focus on your torso to your thighs. So you're just focusing all of your energy. And then I'd like you to look up with your eyes closed and imagine a white screen in front of you. And what do you see on the screen? So I'm going to do that. So maybe you want to walk through the steps, and then you see this white screen, like a movie screen in front of you. What are you seeing? What flash of impression do you receive? That's not a good scene I saw. So I saw compassion, understanding. So I saw these men digging in the ground. I saw them digging in the earth for somebody, digging for someone into the earth. So I don't know what you received. If you received anything, did you receive any on your movie screen? Now you can also do that little exercise, and you can give yourself a suggestion. And you can, like we do with our clairsenses, when I say listen beyond the walls of the room, we do all the steps. We drop down, we relax, drop down, we push away any thoughts. We tune into our clairaudience, our hearing, or our clairvoyance, our seeing, or our feeling, or our touch, our smell, our taste, and then we give ourselves a suggestion. You can do that also with the movie screen. And it might be you're going to see some kind of moving picture or just one image. You might remote view somewhere. Everyone's going to be a little bit different. Past tense, green, yellow. Wait, what did you say, James? Past tense, green, yellow, man, Smurfs, looking for treasure. There you go. That's a good thing, looking for treasure. Well, you know what is the gold standard? We're all going to be having the gold standard, which is backed by gold. Everything's going to be, go buy the gold. All these podcasters are saying buy gold because the dollar is not going to be worth anything. Well, everyone, I'm so happy that I joined everyone tonight and you came here, and I appreciate everyone who is here. Trident and James Hadaway and Music and anyone else. I hope you like the video and subscribe to the channel. You can find me on Instagram. You can, I have some upcoming interviews. I met someone today. Her name is Maureen, and I'm going to be she's also a psychic medium. I'm going to be doing an interview with her. And again, you can find me on this stream.tv. I have my videos up there. Thank you so much, everyone. And I'm spinning light, and you're in the center of it, and you're making a wish up. And I forgot to mention angels, so I have to do that in 1 second. And I'm spinning light, and I'm imagining this 1-foot band of light surrounding you, and you are spinning in the other direction. And I'm spinning light around you, which spinning light takes away negativity and darkness, and it basically shakes it off of you, and it helps you find your truest light. So I'm sending that to you. Before I go, I just want to mention angels are beings of light. Here's the 9 ranks of angels. They come from the heavens to earth. They're here to protect humanity. This is the 9 ranks of angels: seraphim, cherubim, thrones, dominions, principalities, virtues. Dominions, principalities, archangels, and guardian angels. So there you go, everyone. Everyone be well. Thank you for joining us. Peace to all of you. And we have all reached the 5th dimension. Here we are. And we are awakening the masses. And guess what? We're about to hit critical mass. Critical mass, I think, is 2/3, they say. And guess what? We're going to change the consciousness across the earth. And we're going to have peace and personal serenity and love. And we are going to find love within ourselves. And then we're going to love everyone else out here. Now, let me remind you, higher vibrational emotions, which raises your vibration and your frequency, is love, joy, forgiveness, and hope. Bye, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Bye.